So I tried doing some highlighting on all of the green plate. What do you guys think? I think that's pretty good, man. I feel like we kind of did that pretty smoothly, but... Tiny little lines and dots. But, yeah. Horseman's starting to look pretty hype. We're gonna use a little bit of Blood Reaver, Blood Reaver flesh. There we go. The horse's neck. Oh no, we still will get to that kind of Stalkheart. Yeah, we have to do a lot of bruising. So there's actually a lot of holes in the horse's skin. I don't know if you can obviously see it, but there's like little bits right over there, and obviously the marks over there. There's a whole section over here below his neck as well. There's like little driplets coming out of his scald mouth. We have to do the eyeball of the horse. So the horse is not yet done. We'll get to it, we'll get to it. One step at a time. Yeah, there's a lot of bruising on the horse. I'm gonna use, I think some contrast paints, but also some shades and stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think that's gonna make the horse look a whole lot more interesting too. So we wanna highlight all of the pouches and the reins. This is not bright enough. We need something a little bit brighter than this. Can I once again just grab a little bit of this instead? I think that'll do. Willy de Groot and his statue? I'm not sure what that is. It sounds like a very Dutch name though. Good question right there, Rumble. Death Knight? It's basically a Death Knight, yeah. We'll hold it upside down. Okay. There's a couple little scratches across. I think I'll add a little tiny... There's a couple of little scratches all across this thing. I don't love that one over there, but I guess it's okay. Yep. Let's get on Darth. Enjoy your birthday, Lowko. Thank you, man. It's not my birthday, but thank you very much. Still feel like it could be brighter than this. We'll make another extra little patch over here. Thank you, dude. What's going on, Mickey? Good morning. Morning. It's another pure gray morning. Don't know what the day is holding. When I get outside. Oh no, this is not what I wanted. Okay, it's okay. We wiped it off. Whew, okay. What's up, Fo? Good morning. I am trying to highlight the tiniest little bits on this horse. I think that's kind of nice. There we go. I saw a sticker on the back of a vehicle that said 92 is half of 99. Oh, it's a RuneScape reference, yes. So in order to get to the max level in RuneScape, you need to get 13 million XP. And 92 is exactly half. So for about every 7 levels you get in RuneScape, you have to double your XP rate. So getting 99 takes a long time. It throws people off though when you're at 92 and you're like, I'm nearly... No, you're not. I played a bunch of RuneScape again yesterday. It was really fun. I was collecting buckets of sand in the desert. Really fun. Riveting. Hard to get the right angle here for using the edge of the brush, or the side of the brush. You're building up a Nurgle army, but you've only painted some Plague Bearers so far. Hey, nice. Those are looking good, Boring. I'm not building a Nurgle army, though. I've only painted a Glotkin so far. For the Nurgles. That was a bit of a project. That took a while. But the Glotkin is done. I'm liking painting this scale at the moment, though. The Glotkin is very large. It took a long while. And there were several moments where I got a little bit bored with Glotkin, you know, so I finished it, but I wanted to move on to other paintings. Or little projects first. Size of this mini? I am not sure what the size of the mini is. I think it's like 11 centimeters across, if I'm not mistaken. I actually have a ruler right over here. I was measuring something. No, it's smaller. It is 9 centimeters across. Nice. And then width is like maybe 5-ish? Something like that. Obviously it's an oval. I'm going to use the same color here for highlighting. So did I do all the leathery parts? I think I did. Yeah, I want to highlight the pouches as well. So the pouches, we're going to just do a couple of little edges here and there. Just to create a little bit more visual interest. Obviously, I don't want to make it look too rectangular, so we don't want to go too crazy here with little thin lines, but I think something like that will work. Yeah, that's good enough. There's a couple more pouches over here on the back. Hey, what's up, Brisic? How are you doing today, dude? Hope life is treating you well. Okay. You're off today? You woke up at 5:30 on your day off? Damn. What are you gonna do? Or was it on purpose? That is quite early for your day off, though. You were to raid with your guild in WoW? Nice. That is very early to be waking up. You haven't raided with them since you've been in work. Okay, I see. I see. Nice, dude. Enjoy. Did you already finish it? I guess they're a US-based guild? No. They raid at 8 p.m. EST, which is 5:30 a.m. for you. God. You said you were going back to the States soon, right? Trying to hit the top section of each of the straps here. Or each of the... whatever you want to call these. He's like got a bit of leather, I think, wrapped around the weapon. Okay. I don't love the wood here on the back. I think I'm going to try and create a little bit of... It's difficult to dry brush this area, which is what I did to the other wood, but I think I may try and do just some little lines with the brush. Kind of difficult to use a brush here as well though, but maybe if we just add a little bit more, like a horizontal line across like this. I think we'll get a similar effect. As long as it's perpendicular with the... It should be okay. You're gonna go back for a month? For the whole of November? Ah, I see. Oh shit, so you're gonna go back again? To Pakistan afterwards? I see. Is November, is that Thanksgiving? Or am I completely off? I don't know when Thanksgiving is. The money is good in Pakistan? I see. When is Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving is pretty soon, isn't it? I think it's usually like about this time of the year. Is it October? No, I think it's after October. I'm actually not sure. It's an American holiday. We don't give thanks around these parts. Gonna be with family for Thanksgiving and you go see your favorite artist at a club? Nice, dude. November 28th. Oh, okay. I actually thought it was like earlier than that. November 28th. Thanksgiving does seem like a cool holiday to me. One day I'll have to be in the States for Thanksgiving. It changes every year. It's usually the last Thursday of November. Okay. I see. Okay, I think that's the... I think that's the reins and the little leather pieces done. I'm trying to see if there's... Oh, there's a little bit more leather over here. These tiny little straps. We give all of them a little bit of a highlight. Doesn't have to be too fancy, but just a little bit of an additional color in there. So it's not just one color. I think that's good. That should be all of the leather sorted. Just double checking here, because sometimes there's like a little piece hiding somewhere that I haven't spotted. Okay. Sorry, was my head in the frame? Sorry. We want to do a little bit of dark gray for a little bit of the bird. The beak of the bird needs to be relayered, and we're going to use a little bit of this as well on all of the black highlight, or all of the, like the black, Jesus. Stop doing that, Lowko, it's a bad idea, you're going to break that shit. This is the second time I do that today. Ay. Don't break it, that'd be sad. Sad for me anyways. You guys could post kappas and, you know, ha-has in the chat, but I would be sad. Okay, so I'm gonna relayer the beak of the bird, the beak bird. We'll have to highlight this with a brighter color later. Maybe leave a little bit of the darkest in the bottom beak, or the bottom section of the beak. Yeah, and then we're also gonna do a bit of edge highlighting on all of the bird. Bird needs a little bit of love. Okay. Wait, was I, oh God, I don't want to have my hair in the stream. Some of these details are so small, guys, that it's kind of difficult for me to see without being an extra giga nerd and just going, you know. Is it okay like this? Ah, fuck, it was still in the frame, isn't it? When I'm trying my hardest to not put it in the frame, it's still in the frame. Okay. That does make the bird look a lot nicer already. I got a haircut yesterday. I would assume my gray hair is still there though. Unless she specifically got rid of all of those, but that'd be very impressive because I wasn't there for that long. Also, I'm pretty sure if you get rid of all the gray hairs that I have now, I'd be having bald spots. I don't know, dude. We have a lot of gray hairs. It's gray sear? No. This is dark gray. I have gray sear as well, but that one's much brighter than this color. I don't like to be called gray sear, okay? Jeez. Lack of sunlight? The sun is a deadly laser, buddy. Didn't you know? So you're saying more sunlight means less gray hair? Interesting. Okay. Quite a few of these tiny little black ropes that I painted. I'm trying to make sure that they stand out a little bit more from all of the browns, because the brown is a bit darker than I originally intended. But I think it's okay. Yeah. The brown is a bit darker than intended. Yeah. There we go. I think that's okay. He's got a couple of these little threads going all over his ropes here as well. Trying to add little spots for brighter color in there, so it's not just so black. Same on the hair on the horse. I don't think we need a ton of this, but thank you very much, Clakes! 71 months. Welcome back. I was always a hunter. I played a hunter, Brusik. I always mained a hunter in WoW. I was big into collecting pets, especially back in Wrath of the Lich King. I tried getting all of the spirit beasts. They were kind of difficult back then too, because there were loads of people trying to get the spirit beasts. And they essentially required waiting until those fuckers respawned. It was a lot of time spent. They just added a new one that no one has figured out how to get yet? Oh shit. Really? No one? There's a new spirit beast and nobody yet has it? I'm gonna add a little bit of Administratum Gray, which is a very bright gray, specifically for the bird. Maybe some on the reins as well, actually. There's a couple of like shredded bits on the reins. I don't know if this is gonna be too bright. I think it probably is okay. Let's see. Yeah, there's a couple of loose threads on all of these reins. They're facing up a little bit more. I have too much paint on my brush. Okay. Usually these colors, they dry a little bit more pale. So a little bit less extreme would be okay. Nothing like dangling a carrot in front of MMO players to get them to grind crypto for currency? Nah, I think it's okay. I think it's cool that they have stuff that hasn't actually been done yet, you know? If I still played WoW, I would have loved that. Now, nowadays, I don't really care so much anymore about World of Warcraft. But, yeah. I think I may have actually shaken the WoW addiction, guys. Maybe I'll go back at some point to like check new content or something, but I don't think I don't really have any intention right now going back to WoW. Just doesn't really interest me much anymore. They have figured out how to get it? They have a loot? Wait, they have to loot a hammer that randomly is deep in the ocean and then throw the hammer at the bird? Okay. So some folks may have gotten it by now. But it's a new one anyways. Do you still only use them with Beast Mastery? Because that was one of the downsides of Wrath of the Lich King. Like, you weren't actually supposed to be playing Beast Mastery for the majority of that expansion. It was okay for soloing, but for most of the stuff, it was better to run either Marksman or Survival. I always like Beast Mastery the best, but there have been several moments where you couldn't really play Beast Mastery, which always kind of... It's a bit of a shame. So this is the most upward facing section of rope, so we can make that a little bit brighter, I think. I think this is okay. I think that makes sense. Okay, back to the bird. Back to the bird we go. What class do you play, Bruce? Mind you, I will be judging you for the class that you play. Immediately. You're a warrior? Oh, God. Okay, no, warrior is acceptable. I heard warrior is actually really fun. I could never really get into warrior. I tried getting into warrior many times. I know warrior is considered to be one of the best classes in the game. It's so much fun right now. What I always liked about warrior back in the day, and I don't know if this is still a thing, but being able to dual wield two-handed weapons. I always thought that looked so badass. With Fury, it looked so cool back in the day. I don't know if that's still a thing, but I thought it was sick. It's by far one of the best feeling classes in the game right now. Okay, cool. I always seem to prefer ranged damage dealers. I've never liked tanking in any MMORPG. But I always like ranged damage dealers somehow. I seem to gravitate towards those, but... Trying to make the bird stand out. You used to play Shaman and Warlock? Yeah, I like Shaman, and I like Warlock. I think those are pretty sick. It's actually insane, NMR. 100% true. I don't love tanking in MMORPGs. I rarely do. Yet in other video games where you're not supposed to be tanking, I like to face tank. It is actually weird. Yeah, Warlock is a very cool class. I agree. Same for Shaman. I think Shaman is a really cool class as well. I've always been a sucker for MMOs that have like a pet kind of class, so that's why I guess Hunter was always like my go-to. I always felt like the Warlock pets were not, you know, as cool. But I know you don't have to play them like that anymore. I think you can play it without it. But I'm not sure. It's the same for like Survival Hunter. Survival Hunter in World of Warcraft these days is a melee class, which I don't know. Okay, I think that's the bird for me. Guys, we're actually getting to a point where I'm like quickly starting to like go through a couple of these steps. Let me try and do another little zoom in so we can see what it currently is like on the stream. So I tried adding some additional depth to all of the leathery parts, so all of the browns, and then also all of the blacks. So especially the ropes going around, and then all of the leathery strap things that are all over the mini as well. I tried adding like an extra tiny little layer to that. Yeah, so the bird has a little bit more variety now. You can kind of see it like this. The bird on the back. I think that's looking pretty nice. I wonder if I should add a tiny little brighter dot still to his eyeball. Let me try and see if I can get it. Can I even get it while zoomed in? Just a bit brighter. I think that's good. Yeah. Gotta get the eyeball on the other side as well. These are not as tricky to paint, mostly because they're the only raised area in that section. Which makes it a bit easier. Okay, I think we're gonna do a little bit of a silver highlight next. We're gonna do some Stormhost silver. I will make all of it a little bit more rusty later on. But for now, we're gonna kinda... No, I'm following along... Whoa, why is it so moist? Too much wetness over there, man. I should have dapped my my wet palette. Anyways, I am following along with other people's color schemes, but I have changed a bunch of the colors up, mostly because I didn't want to buy them. So I've got some colors that are the closest to what they were running, but I didn't really want to buy every single color that they use because that's just silly. So we, yeah. I didn't really go too crazy there. Okay, so all of the little silvery details. There's a lot of those. That should brighten a lot of stuff back up again. This is Stormhost silver that I'm using right now. I'll try and edge highlight it, but Some of these areas are going to be impossible to do with the edge of the brush. Yeah, so we're going to have to... I'll try and keep it at an angle where I can kind of use the edge of the brush for now, but... Yeah. A little bit of edge. A little bit of an edge. It's a very bright color in comparison though. I wonder if it's almost a bit too bright. Because I've really dulled down a lot of the steel. But I guess we'll just, we'll give it a shot on this section of the shield and we'll see what it looks like then. And if I don't like it, I may dull it down. It is gonna frame the metal quite hard. I wonder if it's maybe gonna frame it a bit too much, but... The weapon will be rusty, absolutely. Yeah, the weapon's not yet done, that's just the first coat. We gotta add a lot of weathering to this guy, it's gonna be fun. I have to add some Nurgle, a little bit of blood. He has a lot of open wounds that I will have to do. Some verdigris as well. All of the brass-colored steel. Or of the brass-colored metallics, rather. The horse looks sick. He is kind of ill, yeah. Thank you, DX. That's too much. This will make everything look a whole lot sharper again. Hey, thank you so much.
Velo party.
Ryan, thank you very much. How much does all of this cost? You mean the paints and everything? The brush? Gonna have to be a little bit more specific, I'm afraid. I don't really remember all of the prices off the top of my head, but... If you have any question in particular about any... My entire house? Streamer net worth? Like, how far do we want to go? I think the mini is probably about 40 euro. Each of these little bottles of paint is 3.50 euros where I buy them. So it depends on how fancy you want to be with your color schemes. There are cheaper paints, but yeah. Ah, that's convenient, Invisi. How much did the nail clipper you trimmed them? I got a new nail clipper recently, actually, from the HEMA. I think it was $3.99 milk from the HEMA. Very common Dutch store. It was very hype milk. Thank you for noticing, dude. The brushes I use are Well, this one's almost wiped off, but it says Rosemary & Co. 33. This is a 00. I think this brush is about €8. Okay, what do you guys think of the bottom section of the shield? Is it too shiny? It is still drying, so it will be less shiny, but... is it a good way to frame it? I think it's fine, right? It definitely does look a lot of... yeah, it definitely does look a lot shinier than the rest of the metallics. Shield looks a bit shiny overall. You think so? Well, it's supposed to be a metal trim, right? That's the idea. So these little rivets, I can dot all of those. I think it's probably good to have a bit of variety though, because otherwise everything is so dull. Yeah, the wood is a bit shiny, but that's because of the paint. Some people will use, like, I could make like, I have some varnish that can really help matte it down. If there's anything that's like too shiny, or too, like, this is very dull, right? So I use 2 different brands of paints. This over here I've painted mostly with Citadel paints, and this over here I have painted the horse's skin with Army Painter paints. And you can see that they have a different finish. This one is very matte. This one's a little shiny. And it doesn't really make sense for wood to be this shiny. So we can add some varnish to it, as long as I don't accidentally hit the metal, because the metal shouldn't be completely matte. Although that's also an option. Fuck, I got some on the wrong side. Can I still mop it up? Nope. May have to go back in. Although maybe I can use some of Blood Reaver's flesh. Ah! Covering up my fuck-ups with another paint. Yeah, a little bit of anti-shine, but look how shiny this stuff is in general though. This is, so there's actual metallic flakes in these, well, it depends on the paint brand again, but there's actual shiny bits in the paint. Am I in the frame? Stop focusing on my finger. There we go. Little rivet. Yeah, it definitely does make it shinier. What's good on, Louis? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Next section. I I don't want to go into the recess here. Trying to use the side of the brush wherever possible without, you know, actually getting it on the stuff beneath. I don't want to be getting it on any of the wood. If I can at all avoid it. Yep. Okay.